From the ones that I've watched already, oh God, I think number one would be uh, Brahma Yogam for me, just because
Okay,
of the sheer.
you have to give the reason as well why.
I think there's a lot of aspects. Firstly, the acting, the story, the mystery that it
Mm.
had, the black and white choice of filmmaking. I got a lot of novelty in terms of all aspects when it comes to the technical standpoints also. Then in terms of storytelling and just the sheer performance is like amazing. Everything really worked out well for me, and it was something that. Like I loved experiencing that in the theaters a lot with like specifically even the sound design wise, music wise. So the film had lot of novelty to offer. So I think for me the number one right now would be Brahma Yogam. Second is Avesham, just for
Okay,
its complete craziness.
right.
I It was just completely crazy for me, and I just loved how I was just having a blast in the theater. I think just for the sheer entertainment value it gave me. And I have a bias for Fahad for sure. And to see him in that role just completely warmed my heart. I was so happy. It was hilarious. And then Amban and Fahad and the guy who played Amban, I forget his name. The actor. Please somebody remind me in the comments. I forget his name. Because I got that wrong also in my review as well. So I forgot his name. But and third is very tough. I would say it will be a choice between. Uh, I think it's gonna be a choice between Manjumal and Adu Jeevitam for me.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
interesting.
gonna be like, yeah, two very different films. Because I think I'm putting both of them in third because of I think both the films moved me emotionally a lot. Like I felt a huge emotional connection with the characters. So there are very different reasons on why I'm placing, like the first one for complete novelty that and the storytelling and all the
Mm.
other technical aspects. Second one, Avesham, just for the entertainment and the kind of fun I had. And these two is for how I really personally connected with both the characters, like all the characters in Manjumal Boys, and just the friendship, and I could just feel that bond and hear what Prithviraj did with the character. So I think it's more of the emotional connect on why I would place these two films on third. And yeah, so those would
So
be my top three.
you can't choose between those two for the third spot.
No, I don't think I can. Very difficult. Very difficult. If like because now I'm not thinking very, very objectively, because usually when I rank, I make an Excel sheet and then I give scores, and then whatever the scores say, I'm like, yes, now this is the ranking. But right now, just on the top of my head, I don't think I'll be able to kind of choose.
Okay, Farad.
Yeah.
So,
And
by the way,
people,
that actors.
I would ask people also to put their top three this year because it's a very difficult choice. We are spoiled for choices, but
Yeah, you
top
both
three.
though have watched even more films.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll be interested to know your ranking for sure.
So, by the way,
Sajjan
that
Goku.
actor's name is Mithun Jay Shankar.
No, Sajjan
The
Gopu.
Fahad Sajan Gopu, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, Sajan Gopu. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Amban. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Amban. Yes, Sajjan
Yeah,
Gopu.
yeah, yeah.
Now I'll
Sajan
remember.
Gopu.
Thanks,
Yeah, sorry.
guys. Thanks.
Okay. Very difficult here. Do I need to rank or should I just say my top three
Top three without any order, like it.
without any
The
order?
top
Okay.
three.
So I'll first start with the consolation ones because I'm spoiled for choices.
No, you do that later.
It's important.
First, like
It's important
so.
because I'll be torn in the comments. So why
See
did you
the
not
top.
pick this film?
See the top three are not like this is the best film. This is the second best film. Like I'm asking more like
Let
your
me
favorite three films
let
of
me
this
tell
year.
you the fourth spot, which is tied. Consolation. Let me start with that.
Okay.
Consolation. So fourth spot for me is Avesham and Manjumal Boys, both of them. Interestingly, both are knocked off. Sorry, not in the top three for me. So my top films would be Brahm Yugam. I think simply because of the way it is shot in monochrome, it reminded me of The Lighthouse. Exceptional, exceptionally directed by Rahul, and another Mammootty masterclass. Arjun Ashrukan, I think, was brilliant
Yeah.
in that film as well. The horror was not scary, but it was atmospheric. I still remember the halfway mark in which, Mamuti says that you need to come up and say sorry, and then I will let you. And then when he does, he said, I will not do it, and he laughs. And then the interval flashes, and there was this nervous kind of a energy. You're looking around and you see people smiling with
Yeah.
a little bit of nervous energy, you can say. I think the job was done. So Brahm
Yeah.
Yugam for me is one. Adu Jeevitam, I think, was an exceptional film. One of my favorite theater going experiences of this
Yeah.
year had to be Adu Jeevitam, uh, to the point that, I was almost guilty of sipping some water, while watching the film. It was that impactful for me. um, the performance of Prithvi Raj and the amount of effort that the cast and crew had gone through, the
Yeah.
16-year journey, it just showed in that film. It was incredibly good, and it was meant for the big screen. If you've not
Yeah.
watched, you've missed out on something major. You missed out on something. The same is not going to have an impact on OTT, and sadly, the OTT deal also hasn't gone through, which is why the film is not out yet on OTT. It's
Yeah.
still unsold, so I hope the OTT somebody buys it. It was to come on Hotstar, but the deal fell through. My third film is an interesting one, because I think it is this one film that absolutely slipped under everybody's radar, but did
Autumn.
not get the eyeballs. Yeah, it is Atom.
Atom. Very good
I
movie.
absolutely loved that film. Absolutely loved that film. And one of the reasons was, and I had spoken in today's review that I had given of the film that we watched yesterday, that the one gripe that I had from the Malayalam film industry of 2024 is that there were no strong female characters that were written. And that is something that was, that ye bhi kar lete, to it would have been like 100% track record. And Atom was that one film that had that
Hmm.
character of Zareen at the center of it, and the way it had ended, I mean, I
Yeah.
was absolutely blown by that. And I absolutely enjoyed that film with the kind of, they took a fixed template of 12 Angry Men, turned it on its
Yeah.
head with its concept, and actually made you ponder as to, how brilliant the concept can be. That template can be used in so many different ways, and the way it ended. So I think Atom for me was, the film that absolutely I enjoyed the film. And sorry Avesham and sorry Manjumal boys, you have been heard if not Atom, but these three I think would be the top films for me.
Keshav,
Okay.
your turn.
Uh, I already mentioned Ulurka is one of my top three because
Yeah.
yeah, I watched it yesterday. I am still in that zone. I still, because that it was such a, I went absolutely blank. Like I didn't know what I was going for. I had no expectations, no idea what even the title means. I just knew that it has Parvati and Urvashi, and just the slow poison, like the it's because Ashmita has not seen. I won't reveal too much here, but
Please don't.
yeah, yeah, absolutely not. But it's just, there was something about this film that stuck with me. It the whole film happens throughout, through the floods and the rains, and that sort of weather also played a character in its own, and it was such an important part of the film, and to suck you into that world, it takes absolutely brilliant filmmaking and then performances as well. So that's one for me. Just the dynamics between the uh, Urvashi and Parvati as the leading characters, and very simple story. Like there's not a lot going on, but just to
Okay.
make a simple story that much layered, and then to be able to convey what they want to convey with so much conviction. And as
Right.
Farad told us that this won the best story as well at some award show, where Lapata Ladies, which is supposed to be the probably one of the best films that has come in Bollywood this year, that came
Yeah.
second, and this one was first. So you can imagine what kind of storytelling this has been. So that's probably on third spot for me. Second spot, I'll probably go Avesham again because of our fandom for Fahad, but also the fact that we have been missing this kind of fun stuff in Bollywood for so long that we have to go to Malayalam cinema and other industries for this uninhibited and absolutely mind-boggling fun film where Fahad is just he's not even acting anymore. Like he's just in a zone somewhere, and he went mad. He went crazy in that film, and uh, so that was and it. I also watched it in theaters, which was again such a good experience,
Oh,
because I'm so glad that I watched it in theater, not on OTT. So that's there. First one again, it's not in any order that I like this more than the other two, but it's just that again, it's a tie for me on for the first two. It's between Manjumal Boys and God Life. So again, both of the films very very difficult to execute in terms of the content
yeah.
that they had. Goat Life had such a long journey. They started somewhere in 2008 or 9 discussing it for the first time, and then to uh, bring it to life, and then have all the COVID related problems in between, and
Yeah.
then finally to be able to release it. And as Farhad also said this, so I went during Ramzan days, and like as he said, like pe- how would people have watched it? Like even drinking a
Oh,
sip of water would have
seriously.
felt guilty. So I think that's probably Prithvi's best work of all I've seen,
Yeah.
and to play a character uh, who ages like that, and to convince us that this is the same guy who has been playing. So I think that just I think that's gonna stuck with me at the end of the year too. If we do the top five, probably
Yeah.
uh, like how we do every year. And Manjumal Boys again for the sheer brilliance of n- every department coming together to create something that has happened in real life, and such a amazing shout out to the real Manjumal Boys as well in the beginning of the film, where they do the tug of the war with them, and
Yeah.
uh, and then the callback of tug of the war at the very end, when he has
Correct.
to save they have to save their friend's life. So I think these things sort of are beyond analysis and beyond reviews. Like sometimes these things just stuck with you, and they stay with you for the longest of times, and that's why I'm saying that these would still be in my top 5 at the end of the year. It's very
Mm.
difficult to top these kind of efforts, and they, yeah, no surprise, this film did 200 plus crores worldwide, and it was made in less than 10 crores. So
Yeah.
Manjumal Boys, again, that for that reason it stands out for me. So these are my top three.